Well, I've got a lot of things on my mind that I want to share with you all today. It's a beautiful, warmer day here where I'm at. And, it came to my attention recently that there's a lot of people that don't understand that most people are trying to hide things from you. Most people are trying to deceive you in some way, shape, or form. And you definitely have to have the understanding of why people are trying to do this. Why are people trying to deceive you? Why is there somebody that's always trying to get something from you and take advantage of you, and you don't really know why? And it's not necessarily to say that you shouldn't take chances or that you shouldn't go all out or go all in and really try to make the world and shape your environment, rather. Make the world a better place and shape your environment into what you want it to be. You see, there's a lot of people that will ultimately choose this path of being outsourced. They want to be outsourced. They want to be in this state of mind where they don't have to do as much work. They don't have to do as much. They don't have to be as much. Well, the thing is that you don't get to be somebody and not have to go through certain challenges or certain forms of isolation or being. You don't get to do that kind of a thing, all right? You don't have to have the edge of whatever it is about you to necessarily be somebody all the time. But if you want to make it in this world, you have to realize that as many people as possible are trying to outsource you. There are so many people that are trying to take you out of the competition. I didn't even realize that this was actually a thing until I was maybe a couple, 2-3 years into my career. So it was about 5 years ago. And now that I've gotten my own YouTube channel and I've been exposed to all different kinds of mentalities across the world, and I've really put myself out there and in a position to where I'm going to be judged, I'm going to be criticized, and I have to be okay with that. I understand that that comes with the territory of putting myself out there, of being somebody. You've got to be capable of being criticized. So I'm not necessarily afraid of that, but I see a lot of people wanting to not be critiqued or wanting to think that they're in the right. Meanwhile, they hate their lives. And it's like, how in the world can you possibly think that you're right and yet you hate your life? I love my life. It's very challenging, don't get me wrong, and it's a whirlwind every day. As an entrepreneur, it's a whirlwind. You never really know if you're going to go up or down or sideways or frontwards or backwards. You don't know who's trying to plot on you and who's not. Especially with the YouTube channel, I've just gotten to the point to where I cannot afford to look at all the comments anymore. I just simply cannot afford to look at all the comments. I've talked about this a few weeks ago in one of my videos, and I want to go look through all of the videos and all of the comments that people do, but number one, I need to offer like some kind of self-authoring or self-writing, self-taught program so that people can learn how to write and read better. I mean, this is crazy. Number one, I don't know, this is only for a minority of the people, but that comment on my videos, but I don't even know what you're saying half the time. I don't even know what you're literally saying because your grammar is terrible. Your usage of phrases and everything is terrible. And that's why people like me, myself, and the people in the Regal Change Academy, that's why we're winning, is because we actually know that it takes competence. We actually know that it takes responsibility. We actually know that we need to be articulate in how we talk about ourselves and how we talk about things and how we talk about ideas. Otherwise, people are not going to be even, number one, willing to listen to us. And number two, they're not even going to want to participate in what we have going on, because anybody, when you get to the level that I'm at, and I'm not even saying I'm at a super top echelon of whatever, I'm just saying that I know that there's something different about me. Just as much as I know that you're probably watching this, you know that there's something different about you. I made a video yesterday called "You Have a Gift." I meant that. I meant that you either have a gift or you're having a gift given unto you, and you're not either seeing it or you're not going full-fledged and all in into that gift that you've been given. And you might not be, and it's not about taking advantage necessarily, it's just more about taking control of your life and using what God has given you for the betterment of society, and as I mentioned before, shaping your environment to what you want it to be. And ultimately, that's a big part of masculinity that a lot of people don't want to talk about. You see, in the comments and all that stuff as well, I see so many men reaching out. They're like, oh, I need help, I need this, I need that. And then if I respond to them, they want me to give them a freebie. They want me to give them just something that they can just take and go. And it's like, why am I supposed to help you if you don't even want to appreciate the help? This is why we have businesses. Okay, this is why mainly the only reason that businesses are a thing is because most people are going to try to take advantage of you if you don't have a system that has a motif of value attached to it. If you don't have a motif of value attached to a physical object, for some reason, people just want to take advantage of other people. And this is where we have to recognize that we are born with a sinful nature. We are born with a nature to also want to sin, but we're also born with the ability to overcome it. This is what God created us to be. And a lot of people are going to be trying to hide this from you. They want to hide this from you because they want to make it seem like they're this angel, that they have everything going on for them, that they are this perfect, innocent, whatever. A lot of women will do this when you're first starting to get to know them, and then something crazy, just random will happen, and she just flips a switch. I cannot tell you how many times over the past few years that I've had talking stages with women where I ask a certain kind of question that's intended to get at the root of who she really is and what she's really about. And that's where the flip usually happens, is when I'm asked those kinds of questions. And you know, this is just part of understanding the way in which people work. It's the same kind of thing with guys. With guys, if you can flatter their egos enough, you'll start to see where they want you to move to. And it's about actually, because if you actually want to get anywhere in this life, and you actually want to network, and you want to actually not be outsourced like all these other people out here, you have to actually take an interest and a care for the people in your life. Okay, you actually have to want to be around these kinds of people. You actually have to want to really put an effort and show that you care. So many people just don't want to show that they care because, well, that would mean that they can take advantage of you. It's like, exactly. That's exactly. You should, I don't like using that word should, because I hate that semantic word should, because it forces wills upon other wills. But what I mean to say is that the reason that it's important for you to actually genuine care and to be willing to be hurt is more important than not actually even opening up to begin with, is because if you actually open, you can, yes, you might get hurt. Absolutely, you might get hurt. But guess how much you'll learn from that? So many people don't want to accept the dark side of their reality. They would rather live in this fairy tale, bushy tail, everyone eats rainbows and lollipops and poops butterflies and poops lollipops and all that stuff. They just want to live in this type of fantasy land where they are ultimately neither here nor there. They want to live in this middle ground that is completely on the fence. It's not the middle way that Buddha is talking about, and it's not the narrow path that Jesus is talking about. This is a middle road in which they don't have to choose which side they're on. And guess where that ultimately ends up? Where does that lead to? It always leads to hell. Every single time. And these people don't want you to know that they're leading themselves to hell. Okay, somebody out there doesn't want you to know, because I'm sure I'm speaking to somebody right now. So I'm sure that there's somebody that doesn't want you to know that they're being led to hell by themselves or by the devil. and they want to make it seem like they're this innocent person. You have to recognize this. You have to see it for what it is. You have to move on, and you have to see that this life is a negotiation. This whole life that we live is a negotiation, and we're supposed to, because God was creating us to do this. Just because we have a sinful nature doesn't necessarily mean we have to act on it all the time. It doesn't necessarily mean that we have to repress it either. A lot of people will refuse to even acknowledge the type of emotion they're feeling. And it's like, how far is that going to get you? Really, you have to lean into those dark side of the emotions that you're feeling in order to get anywhere. But you must not let them take control of you, because as Nietzsche said, if you stare long enough into the abyss, you start to become it, or you start to become the monster. I can't remember exactly how he phrased that, but that's the point, is if you do stare into the abyss long enough, you're going to start to see the monster lurking within and become the monster. You don't want to necessarily become the monster, but you want to be capable of being the monster, because if you're capable of being the monster, well, then that's where you get to understand how these other people and snakes work, okay? I cannot tell you how many times I've been snaked out and gypped and taken advantage of, etc. I cannot tell you how many times this has happened, but I always look at it as a learning experience now. I used to see this as something that was happening to me, and I was a victim of this. I used to see that, oh, well, this happened to me, and oh, well, I'm just so naive. I'm just so this. And it's true. I was naive. I was all these things. But that's not the point. The point is that you have to take what you're learning and you have to apply it further. You have to take what you're learning and see that you don't have to be the victim here. You don't have to be the person that is just whimsically living through life. You don't have to live vicariously through some other people. Let your mind roam free. Let your heart be free, but lean not on your own understanding. Lean on God's understanding, okay? This is why it's so important to understand that just because you may be the victim, okay? That narcissist that took advantage of you in a business deal or whatever, or in your family, whatever the case may be, that narcissist may have taken advantage of you. Absolutely. That narcissist may have tried to hide who they are long enough to gyp you or to steal from you. What does the devil come to do? Kill, steal, and destroy, right? So they probably did certain things like this. And what happened? What happened? Well, you have to learn from this. You can't see yourself as a victim forever. And this means that you have to fix your mentality. You have to fix your mindset. And what exactly does that mean? It means that you have to program thought algorithms, new modes of operations in your psyche, okay? You have to do that by simply almost being a pathological liar to yourself in some sense, because it's not about lying to yourself. That's not what I'm saying here, because a lot of people, I'm sure, will misinterpret that. I'm not saying be a liar or lie to yourself. I'm saying that sometimes it'll feel like you'll have to be a pathological liar to yourself because you'll know it's not true yet, okay? That's the key phrase right there. Let's say you want to be, like, for example, I had a lot of problems in my relationship to money growing up. And through time, I started to see how that was affecting my life in my generational curses, etc. And all the things that I was taking on, all that baggage that I was taking on from past generations that didn't even really apply to me. Well, I had to change my thought algorithms. I had to say, it's okay to be luxurious. It's okay to want the finer things in life. What's not okay is to not have something to give back if you don't have something to give yourself. And if you do have something to give yourself, and you have something to give to somebody else, that's great. But you should always, again, there's that word should, but you should always pay attention to yourself first. If you can't fill your own cup, how in the world are you going to expect to be able to help somebody else fill their cup? Okay? And a lot of this comes from mindset. It doesn't come from material. It doesn't come from resources. It comes from your soul. It comes from your spirit. It comes from everything about who you are, not what you are. All right? So with all that being said, I hope this message was useful and insightful for you. Look, if this kind of message is resonating with you, you need to join the Regal Change Academy, because we are going through a lot of fantastic things right now. We have so many people in the community that are getting so many wins at this point. You know, so many people are like, wow, this is like actually what it feels like to be around a community of winners and people that are actually wanting to seek fulfillment of the soul. Okay, so if you're interested in that, check out the Regal Change Academy. Links in the description box below. We have the paid community on the school platform. We are doing a Legends of Stoicism class right now. We have weekly Maps of the Psyche classes, Bible studies, as well as a weekly Regal Assembly call. This is going to be more of a generic call where we talk about anything and everything. We've talked about so many different kinds of topics in that call that, man, it really kind of blows my own mind sometimes thinking about this. But that's the beauty of this kind of community, is that you get so many different kinds of unique perspectives and so many different kinds of people that are going through different things. And then we have the free Discord where, of course, you're going to get that community. But in the paid community, we're going 10 times faster because we're moving 10 times faster than anybody else there, because we have a collective mindset on what our values and goals are, and we're all striving to build each other up to do those things. That's exactly, and we're not necessarily competing with one another, but we're encouraging each other to be better. Okay, because that's what we want to do. In the paid community, we want to just help people be better. We don't want to help people get to the finish line. Okay, but if you're like looking to get to the starting line, not the finish line. There is no finish line in this life. But if you want to get to the starting line, the free Discord channel is going to be the good way to go for you. But if you're like already started and you're thinking about, man, how do I just get better? That's going to be the community for you, all right? So in the free Discord, you'll have the free ebook available, monthly calls and such as well, meditation guides, fitness guides, all that fun stuff, all right, to help you as building blocks along the way. I also want to appreciate everybody moving from the YouTube platform over to X, Rumble, and Instagram recently. I do appreciate your guys' extra support. Shout out to the subscribers. Shout out to the followers. Let's get it. Let's go. Peace be with you all. Until next time.